Hi, boys and girls, uncles and aunties. Welcome back to Two Uncles Football Show, where we talk about mostly English Premier League, but everything football and what's happening, and just a friendly banter. So let's get started with what had happened last weekend. And I think there were some really interesting games, unexpected results. But I'll let
hmm
my friend Nav kick this off on which ones do you want to talk about first?
Yeah, I think a lot of actually a lot of goals scored on Saturday. I think there were like three games with at least like three goals. A lot of interesting stuff. Let's start with Arsenal and Newcastle. How about that?
Yeah,
Because that was if you looked at the fixture list, I guess that would have been the headline fixture of the week, anyways. The late game on Saturday. So 4-1 before the game. I was hoping that it would be a good game and that Newcastle would give Arsenal a solid fight. But very clearly, I think as the game went on, Arsenal were just dominant. I think they are
yeah,
just like a well-oiled machine, good defense, um, you know, really flowing football. Like I think the front three or four are just incredible at like finding the gaps and switching position, and it's really fun to watch, right? It's really a joy to watch. They've been awesome. I think they're kind of hitting a rich vein of form. And Newcastle, after that game, they were just a shambles. I think defensively they're just leaking too much, and I think going forward they're good, right? They've had their share of injuries, but I think Anthony Gordon is always decent, puts in a shift. Like Almiron's got the pace. But yeah, after
I
that game, I was really fearing for Eddie Howe's job.
yeah, and I don't think we spoke about this. We the result was not the surprise, but probably the surprising part was the I think I saw the first half. I missed the second half or a bit of that. But the first half, man, there was no chance Newcastle could get anything
hmm
out of the game, man.
Yep.
It was very
Yeah.
clear. The way Arsenal was fantastic football by Arsenal. I have to say that.
hmm
And but the result was not surprising, but the gap in terms of where
Quality.
Newcastle had started, the quality, absolutely. I mean,
hmm
it's clear the title credentials are definitely there for Gunners. And
hmm
I think they might. I mean, we're getting close
Yeah,
to
I think it's
what
just
next
you know,
12 games remaining?
yeah, I think 13 games.
12,
Yeah, this was like
13,
what,
12,
week
13
25
games. Yeah,
or something. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think every game the situation can change, right? Three teams at the top can interchange positions very quickly. But I think, it's been pretty static. Like all the teams have been winning. So going to Man City, they played Bournemouth. That was an interesting game. I think Bournemouth deserves a lot of credit, right? I think they are, pretty good team. And,
one.
they gave Man City a good game. And I think they've given all the big teams like a great game.
Yeah,
I remember them playing against Spurs. They
United.
played really, really well. They played well against United. So I think, Iraola is a good coach. It like really definitely deserves credit for, instilling like, some confidence in a new style of play in Bournemouth.
Yeah,
City again is like grinding out the wins. Um, you know, at least in the Premier League. But uh, as long as it's getting interesting, as long as like all the top three team wins, the
yeah.
gap remains the same. It's like 2 points between the three games, between the three teams. So pretty exciting. Yeah, it's
And
fun to watch.
interesting was the other one was um, Crystal Palace back on track. What do you think? Roy
hmm
Hodgson gone. But okay, they were playing Burnley. Burnley is definitely going down.
You know, it must be awful being a Burnley fan.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
after dominating the championship last season,
yeah.
um, they got, I think, 100 points or more than 100 points or something like that.
Yeah.
And okay, usually like the promoted teams are generally the favorites to go down, but
Yeah.
Like right at the end of last season, you probably thought that Burnley, they might do decent, play some good football. Like Vincent
Yeah.
Company had like a lot of praise behind the way he played. But yeah, it's been awful. It feels like every game they just give up like 3 goals, 4 goals. It must really suck,
No,
to
you know
be a
what?
Burnley fan.
We should keep it for the next one, the next episode. We should talk
Hmm.
and spend some time on relegation battle. I think that'll be an
Yeah.
interesting because Burnley, I think definitely Sheffield is going down. The question comes,
Well,
the question now comes is Everton is there, Luton Town, and who else? I mean, Bournemouth, I don't think they're going to go down. I don't think.
FFP is playing a big role in the
Yeah,
relegation
we
battle.
have to talk a little bit about that, man.
Yeah,
But
everybody's
I
favorite
think,
topic. But it's still a little unsure, right? I think in terms of, yeah, current points, definitely Sheffield United and Burnley are like, there's
yeah,
distance
yeah,
between them and Luton. West Ham, sorry, not West Ham, Everton got some points back from the
yeah.
deduction. Um, but now they're saying that there's another charge that Everton will have to face. Plus, they might bring up something against Nottingham Forest, who's also right around there.
Yeah.
So the situation could really change like pretty rapidly. Um,
The,
and Luton feels like they're just a little 10% extra
yeah.
from getting some
They,
points,
I
right?
feel for them.
So
I feel for them, man. I mean, they like a little bit
yeah,
of luck here and there, get some points. Okay, maybe not against the top 6 or 7, but the other teams, if they can get, I think I would love to see them stay up and uh,
yeah,
and also
they're
visit.
definitely like fighting.
They're fighting.
So yeah,
But
I hope.
we were talking about David Moyes and how he was right there. I mean, could he get sacked or whatever? But man, was Paqueta the missing link or what, man? I can't believe it. 4-2.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I think so. Paqueta was back in that game um, against Brentford, but I think obviously he's just coming back from injury, so he had some influence, and maybe it kind of just got that little old confidence back. And to be honest, like Brentford has also in recent times been dropping a lot of points, losing games, and like sinking to the bottom slowly. If I'm not mistaken, they're also in like 16th place or something, maybe 15th or 16th.
And
So, it's a combination of things, right? I think West Ham definitely had to show some reaction, right, to
yeah,
their
yeah, what was that?
last 2 or 3 games before. So they and Paqueta coming back was also some, I think, good mojo over there.
But
But
yeah, Bowen's on fire. Remember that one?
yeah, yeah. But Bowen again, I'll have to set a reminder to get him on my fantasy team again because
Yeah.
he's
Okay.
been racking up those goals.
I think I have to get Saka and I'll get Bowen and I'll probably get if I think I have 2 transfers left. So I'll probably get these two.
Hmm.
But speaking of this, let's come to the
Speaking of transfers, I think you've been really avoiding the Man United game against Fulham.
I was about to say let's come to the depressing part of last weekend for me. So I'm pissed, man. I don't know what to say. It's like you have 5 games on the trot, winning, and then you come across this kind of a performance at Old Trafford, which is I didn't even know what that first half was. And it was very clear that Fulham was going to win this. And I think we were texting each other and saying, you know what, this is not going to end
Hmm.
well. Okay, where should I start? I don't think it was a question about Hoyland missing the game. Okay, Hoyland was missing. Who else was missing other than that? Hoyland was injured. Who else? Everyone was there from the last.
Luke Shaw was injured, I guess.
Oh, but come on, even the last one it was without Luke Shaw. I think they won, right?
Oh, okay, from the
Yeah,
last game. Okay.
yeah. Everyone was there. There's nobody. Casemiro was there, right? It's and okay. Now comes to the funny part of it. Okay, what was the statement by Eric Ten Hag? about like, oh yeah, I think the boys played well. I know last year we equalized. You are at Old Trafford and you are happy about getting a point? Come on, man. That pissed me off. It's like, dude. And then you're saying like, oh, it was 1-1 and we made a bad mistake, but you were happy with 1-1. And that too,
Hmm.
Maguire scoring what, 89th minute or something. Come on, man. I don't know what is happening. But the funny thing is you see the roller coaster, right? I mean, Man U fans have to get
Hmm.
some therapy, man. Honestly. It's like you have this kind of, oh yeah, Ratcliffe's interview, and yeah, we're going to invest and get a new stadium and everything. And then you have 5 wins on the trot and all that. And you lose against who? Fulham. Dude,
Yeah.
at Old Trafford. And what's coming next? City at Etihad.
Yes,
And come
yes.
on,
Let's
dude.
switch to that game. Let's
Okay,
switch to that game. So,
let me finish. Let me vent out, okay, on this one. So there were six fucking games, all right? Six games, out of which one, which was against City, which is coming up on Sunday, which I said like six games, absolutely winnable. The funny part was that Fulham has not won away since last August.
oh, really?
Last August or September was the last away win for Fulham. Come on, man. That was like shocking. It's like, how can you play like that? All right, calm down. Zen moment. I have to use some therapy now.
Serenity now. Serenity
Yes.
now.
I don't
All
even
right.
have a drink, man. So,
Yeah. Well,
all
you
right,
need one
let's
after that.
yeah, yeah. Let's
But
let
the good
let's
news, well, in all that, I think the
okay.
good news is that it's only City this weekend, right?
Okay.
So,
I'll- but I have to ask you, okay, I'm okay, as a United fan, whatever rant and everything, what did you think about that game? You tell me.
I think United, it's hard to see like what they are going to do in a game. You know, I think it's like I really struggle to understand United this season. And even against Fulham specifically, I think it was like an okay game, in the first half. There were some like frustrating moments, but generally I think like Onana was looking good. Casemiro was looking good initially. Like he did some rash couple of fouls. I think he got on a yellow card pretty quickly or something, and it was okay. But there was no like I don't know. I think I've described it before. Like that swagger was missing. You know,
Yeah.
it is like you do the things. Okay, you have this some sort of plan, compact counter, but just that you know swagger is missing. And I think like that swagger from like Bruno's first season, for example,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
where even then, like, I mean, United were great, had some good games, like decent team, got some results. I think they had some like great away form at that time, but and there was always that like boom, dude, this guy just dominates a game. But I think when he is so badly out of form now, it's just that thing is missing, that there is an ingredient that's missing. And unfortunately, I think uh, Ten Hag also cannot like bench him. Like, sometimes you're like out of form, bench the guy or rest him for a game, let him also stew in his own madness and like come back out of it or something. But he's just like him and Rashford, they're literally just playing every game, right? There is there's no chance for them to maybe even like sit on the bench and think about it a little bit. So I don't
The funny part of it is that, yeah, I fully agree. Bruno Rashford, let's not. He came out with a huge statement today about do not question my commitment to the club. Dude, I get it. I get it. But it's almost the season is coming to an end. You
know.
had absolutely nothing. So you have to reflect. And he's saying, oh, yeah, I'm reflecting on myself. Oh, no, all the big statements have been made. But as a player, come on, as a professional, what has gone wrong from a season of 30 goals down to what, one or two right now?
Yeah,
See, there's a
yeah.
huge difference. Yeah. Now, I don't know behind the scenes whether it's a training and God knows what is happening, but I don't think anything has changed there. let's leave that aside. Very quickly on Bruno. Football is played over 90 minutes. Did you see the game? And we'll talk a bit about the game against Nottingham, the FA Cup. There were flashes, just like one, and that 89th minute, whatever was scored by Casemiro, right? There was a good cross inside, but rest of the game was shit, right? I mean, there were few
Hmm.
things here and there, some passes and a flick out from outside his foot and everything from the I think it was right foot outside of the heel or
Hmm.
whatever he did, something fancy. But that's pretty much it, man. Bruno is not what he was, and
Yeah, yeah,
that is
he's definitely
hurting.
not.
That's clearly hurting. So, having said that, yeah, we'll just, I don't know if anything else, but I think I'll just get riled up talking about it. So, let's move on.
All right, let's
Uh,
change the topic. Let's review some other games like the
yes,
Carabao Cup final. What did you think about that?
I think Chelsea showed.
Or is the Liverpool win riling you up even more?
Yeah, it's a Carabao Cup. So, I mean, of course, the defending champions were out long time ago. No, man, I think Liverpool I mean, it was all Klopp, I can say it.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
Klopp. Fantastic, fantastic, I would
yeah.
say.
Hmm.
I think Chelsea, I felt like, you know what, Chelsea might just nick it, but oh, it just,
Yeah, I agree. I thought I was surprised at how well actually Chelsea played. I think they played real well during the regulation time, and towards the end, I think they were actually looking like the stronger team. And but I think in extra time, it was just Liverpool. I think Liverpool just stepped up a gear, or Chelsea stepped down a gear. I don't know what happened, but I think once it got into extra time, I think Liverpool just gradually started getting stronger and stronger. And at the end, I was like not surprised,
yeah,
because that goal was coming. And Van Dijk, I think he also I think he made some statements after the game that, oh, people thought I was done and this and that, and it was kind of interesting. It was like a lot of chest
yeah.
beating and all that stuff. Disappointing for Chelsea fans. Gary Neville called them billion-dollar bottle jobs. So their week just got
That's
worse
gonna
and
say.
worse after that defeat. But in fairness, the bottle jobs were actually playing pretty well, I think.
Yeah, they were
And I
playing
feel
well.
like over the last couple of games, maybe Pochettino has
Yeah,
improved them a little bit, or at least
yeah.
made them a little more cohesive. Like there's some unit playing over there, so tough on them. But yeah, and then following that, they played really well against Leeds. That was a thrilling victory in the FA Cup that they had versus Leeds. And I think now, just to kind of segue back to the FA Cup a little bit. Yeah, I think they have a pretty good path. I think they're against Leicester in the next round at home. Obviously, United has Liverpool. Um, not sure who City has, but Wolves also
Yeah,
got through, right? I think that was a pretty good win for them too.
it's,
So yeah, I think Chelsea, if they keep playing, they keep improving. They might have a pretty good route to at least the um, you know semi-finals. They definitely have a decent route, and then maybe if they get lucky with a draw, could even get to the final, man. And Poch will be there again before you know it. So that's going to be pretty interesting.
It's just for fun. If you saw the when they went up to take the medals, Poch didn't shake hands with Bowley. So he was,
Oh, really? With
yeah,
oh, really? Wow,
yeah. He just
that's interesting.
yeah. I'm telling you, something must be coming up there.
Something's up. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
And but yeah, I think Liverpool, yeah, deserved it for sure in that sense. And
Hmm.
speaking of FA Cup, I think can't wait for the March 16th clash. It's at Old Trafford,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think it'll be interesting one. I would not rule United out. I mean, by no means. I don't think it's like okay. What's coming on Sunday is a different story. We'll talk about that.
Hmm.
But I think FA Cup, yeah, I think United has a good chance. I think that
Okay.
would be something. And I don't
I think
think
there's some.
they have stopped replays, right, for FA Cups. So basically, you go to
Mm,
extra time and then
and then it's
there are
penalties, I guess.
penalties,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
That's
no
right. That's
replays.
right.
No?
There's no replay. So we will have a winner that day.
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
Yeah. Is
So
that at Anfield or is that at Old Trafford?
Old Trafford. Old Trafford.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, now it's fun. FA Cup, I think the latter rounds are fun. You get the knockout games, you get some big teams playing each other. So
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
And
And then yeah, what else? What else has been happening in the world of football? What else
let's,
should we talk about?
what is financial fair play, man? I mean, can somebody explain me this? So let's talk about Everton a bit, okay? So
Hmm.
first of all, whatever charges and all that, I mean, let's
Hmm.
not get into details. Some of it we'll probably not know or not understand. But 10 points, and then something happened, they appealed, and then they got only 4 points back, and now the talks about Nottingham getting something, uh,
Hmm.
points will be docked or something like that. So, but my only thought about this is like there is no who comes up with all these numbers, 10 points or
Yeah,
6 points or
yeah,
four
that
points.
is exactly
What
the question
basis?
I have.
Is it subjective? Is it based on, oh, if you have FFP, you broke one rule, 1.2 rules, or if it is money, they, oh, you had 50 million of kind of a gap in your FFP or whatever they had to meet the requirements, you'll be docked 20 points or whatever that shit is, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It,
I
uh,
don't know what the details are, but I am pretty sure there is some sort of way. It can't just be arbitrary, right? So why 10 points and not 11 points, right? Or like, why 10 points and not 15 points, right? So I have to look that up, Maybe we should do a little segment next time on how FFP actually works.
yeah.
So that'll be kind of interesting.
I'll also,
But yeah, it's and the other thing, sorry, just to finish the thought, the other thing I feel, and maybe this has to do with when the financial year closes, but I really feel they should kind of decide like what the penalties are before the season. I think before the season will make it fair for the team. So it's like, okay, I start with, a negative 5 point thing, whatever, because of these rules. Doing it in the middle of the season definitely makes it exciting for the fans because it's all like, anything can happen. But I think it's just unfortunate that, you don't know, right? I mean, imagine this. I don't know when the Nottingham Forest ruling will come, but they have like one game to go. They have to win the game to like stay in the Premier League. They win the game, and then they're like, "Oh, we are docked 3 points for
yeah.
financial fair play or something like that," right? Or maybe they're just making an escape, and then financial fair play comes and just drags them back down to the bottom. Anything can happen, right? So maybe that's the point of
It,
FFP. Make it more interesting.
actually, what you just said about the points like before the start, and coincidentally, F1 is starting, right?
Hmm.
Tomorrow, a new season. And we will not talk about about that on this one, but man, I'm looking forward to it. But you see, right? You get a grid penalty, right? Before the
Hmm.
start of the race.
Yeah.
Or during the race, if there is something, then you get a, whatever, 5-second penalty in the
Yeah.
end, like, and then your points, where you stand and in your position is basically based on that. I would agree with that. Let's say, for example, if Everton were to be docked 10 points,
Hmm.
just wait till the end of the season. I don't know if
Hmm.
this decision was made before the start of the season. If it is before the start of the season, yes, you start with a grid, like, analogy to F1. It's like
Hmm.
there's a penalty at the grid. You start,
Hmm.
at this position. Or during the season, if you find something, then just do it at the end. I mean, that is one way because now they're talking about Everton and now 10 points, now 6 points. Now if Nottingham will come in,
Hmm.
it'll be a mess. So I don't think there is any set rules or anything. It's just coming up as arbitrary and somebody is doing that.
Hmm.
Speaking of
Hmm.
which, again, the same thing would apply. you were talking about, 10 points. Oh, like, why Everton and not City? That's a big question,
Hmm.
which will I have no idea.
Of
110,
course, you want to get
charges against them or whatever.
that's at least 110 points, right?
It's like few titles should be taken away, right? I mean, come on. Jose will win his
Well,
title.
Jose's best performance coming second could be even better now,
Even
right?
better. Exactly. Jose, four, respect.
Four, exactly.
He should get that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyway, speaking of penalties and everything, man, Pogba, done, right?
Mm.
4 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
Well, yeah, we should just say what the Pogba news is that he was found to have tested positive for testosterone. Um, so, or I guess everybody has, he has testosterone, but artificial testosterone, and he's got a 4-year ban in Italy now. So, um, yeah, I suppose that's the end of his career, at least in Italy. I don't know if those bans,
Wait a minute.
uh, I
It's
don't know if those bans extend to Saudi Arabia, for example. But yeah, I thought he was banned in Italy. I don't think it's a worldwide ban, is it?
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I
Oh,
didn't.
we'll have to check.
I just read
We'll
about
have to
it,
check.
but I thought it was all over, right? Banned from football.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
Wow.
gone, man. I mean, uh,
Wow.
his career is over.
Sucks. But, career is over, but he is still a World Cup winner. So there is that,
Sure. Pog
right?
back most.
Uh,
So speaking of
but
which,
I guess, he's another guy who could have, yeah, he could have been one of the greatest. So
absolutely.
now you'll have to actually arguably say that he did not live up to his full potential,
I'm
right?
sure.
Even though he won the World Cup and all that stuff, but the based on the talent he has, he definitely did not make the best use of it.
Yeah, and speaking of Pogba, actually, that brings us to actually I thought about this because this was when with Jose, 2018, Manchester Derby at Etihad, down 2-0 at halftime. United wins 3-2 and
Hmm.
stops City from winning the title that day.
Hmm.
Pogba, that he was fantastic in that game, man. I still remember. Speaking of which,
Hmm.
we are talking about, upcoming weekend and what's coming up.
Yeah, yeah,
The,
yeah. Let's
the,
start with
the,
there.
the
Let's.
star,
It's
the
a
star.
perfect segue, man. Hmm.
Exactly, man. I mean, I wish something like that could happen, but I do not think United will get anything at the best a point at Etihad coming up. Haaland, five-star Haaland is again
Yeah,
crazy. He's scoring goals
he's
left
back in form.
back in
Yeah, I think City
and
is. I think they've pretty much got their full strength team, right? I don't know who's
June
out.
Grealish actually got injured, but anyways, I don't think he was gonna play. Doku was gonna be on the left, so it's gonna be tough. Uh,
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough, especially. It's going to be interesting. I think in the FA Cup, Ten Hag played Amrabat on the left side,
yeah,
right, in the absence of Shaw. Um, Against City, I don't know. That's going to be like a pretty tough gig if he does continue to play there. Bruno will have to like step it up, man. Stop complaining and start playing.
he would have to play his.
Casemiro is going to, Casemiro is great. I think he probably lives for some of these big games.
Yeah,
And on the other end, I think like it'll be fun to see like Garnacho versus Walker, right?
yeah.
That's going to be awesome. Rashford will have to be on its best. So yeah, man, everybody's got to step up their game. It's going to be exciting. What's your prediction?
3-1 to City.
I was going to say 3-1 to City as well, actually.
City.
So I wouldn't be surprised if United actually take the lead. To be honest, because I think they have that when they do play, I think they play pretty well in the first half.
Yeah,
They start pretty well,
yeah.
but yeah, feels like City is just too
That's-
strong. And given the topsy turvy season that United is having, I think it's
Yeah,
yeah, can't go for anything other than a City win, but should be a good game nonetheless.
absolutely. And then I think there are some interesting ones actually. I don't know which other ones are you looking forward to. Not Newcastle Wolves will be a good one. Uh,
Yeah, I think Newcastle Wolves will be great. I quite enjoy watching Wolves now. I think again Gary O'Neill has been amazing for them, right? He's
exactly.
done a fantastic job. It's fun. He's got them really well organized. Newcastle is just, I think that it's safe to say their season is, yeah, it's a bad season for them, right? After all the, qualification for the Champions League and stuff last year, I think, yeah, there's going to be some long, hard thinking taking place at Newcastle over the summer,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Other than that, yeah,
What
I
about you?
think
You you had a good break.
yeah, we got a good
What team?
break. Um, it's I think I'm hearing again. We still have a couple of days to go, but hearing that Pedro Porro is still not fit
Okay.
to play Crystal Palace. Udogi should be back, so that's a little better. But yeah, I think Spurs, to be honest, haven't been playing that well, right? I think we beat Brentford, we beat Brighton, but kind of, left it pretty late. Brighton, especially, was super late, like literally the last kick of the game almost. So we haven't been playing, we've been dominating parts, large parts maybe of the game, or been playing well at parts, but not just sort of killing the game off, right? When we can.
Be
So that's
wary,
been a little worry.
be wary
And
of
Crystal Palace is like,
Palace on
yeah,
the bump.
they
New
look
manager bump.
they look pretty good.
Yeah,
Yep.
careful
New
about
manager
that.
bump, and plus they look pretty good last week. Um, yeah, but it's at home for Spurs, so that's a good thing. Um, but other than that, I think Arsenal has a pretty very winnable game against Sheffield United, so they're definitely going to keep putting up the points. And then who does
Nottingham.
Liverpool play? Liverpool has a very
Nottingham.
winnable game against Nottingham Forest, so
Guess what?
um,
I think
yeah.
I think Liverpool will find it tough at Nottingham. I have a feeling based on what I
Mhm.
saw with Nottingham playing against United. Again, I know it was United and Liverpool, but Liverpool still, I mean, yes, they won Carabao, but I don't know if the players are back with Szoboszlai, Salah, Jota they're still out, right? So they will, I don't think
I
they're,
think Salah is back or very close to being back, right? Or did he play some part of the FA Cup? I think he might have actually. We'll have to check this. Can we
yeah,
get our
because
fact checkers to check this? Let's see if he actually played. But I did think that he was actually very close. I think last week there were some pictures of him in training and things like that. So yeah, he did not play in the game
mhm.
against. Yeah, I guess he's still still listed as out. So yeah, I was wrong.
Maybe he's on the bench coming up for
Uh,
against Nottingham.
yeah,
But yeah, so
I don't
watch out
know.
for that because City ground is not easy. I think
Yep, yep. So
not
I
easy.
think I definitely, so Arsenal, I think definitely going to put up points among the top three. I mean, City likely to put up points. Sure, Liverpool, even if they drop, like even if it's a draw, sorry,
Yeah,
drop 2 points, it's still going to be tough. So yeah, now for when it's this close, I think every week is fun. Like no matter the opposition, right? Because there's
well,
always a potential. Like you do a little,
let's
slip up here and there, and it could all change very dramatically, right?
I'll tell you
So
one thing, man. The Sunday is not going to be fun. I'm already tensed on this. It's I don't know what I call this, like the 6-0 battering that United had against City. I mean, City battered United. It was a long time ago, but still. But the way City plays is just, I mean, just keep your respect. Keep something. Get something. Play. Even if you lose, it's
pride,
yes,
play with
play.
pride.
Play in the sense, yeah, it's fine. You may lose, that's okay, but do not have that kind of a performance which I've seen in many, many games this season, like
Yeah.
starting from this Fulham game and even Nottingham Forest at FA Cup. Play, man, just go for it, whatever it means. Who cares? But on that note, I think
All right. Let's
pray
end
for
there
me.
and we'll let you,
Pray
you
for
know,
me,
go
man.
get your drink, man. Get your drink,
Yeah, I'll
take
be
a
I'll
chill
be
pill.
I'll be drinking from starting tomorrow morning till Sunday night. So
All
look
right.
forward
Well,
to
until
that.
next time, take it easy.
Cheers.